welcome on this new Coach Dev Academy Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez. Today we are here on the Ledenon circuit for week 11 of the Falcon Sports Car Series, and we use the AMG GT4. So as usual, first we're gonna with the hot lap, and then I'm gonna go into more details about the car and the track. So yep, let's get. Alright guys, so we go for the lap around Ledenon with the AMG GT4 and 41. Basically, as you can see, it's not really blind, but yeah, you cannot really see the curbing. So what I'm doing for this one is that I'm just gonna kind of follow the pit exit line. So as you can see, I'm just following. I mean, it's not really the pit exit line, but I'm just following this line right there, which gives you a bit the flow of the corner a bit. Like, so as you can see, when I'm getting close of the line, just gonna go on the brakes, and then I will just turn in, just not really trying to get the curbs on this triple left. For me, it doesn't feel like you really need to get them. I think because especially I think the first one and the second one doesn't give you that much advantage for me. And also because you can maybe carry a bit more speed if you avoid them sometimes. Maybe you can get a bit loose or something, or it can get a bit unstable. So for me, I just try to avoid the curves of the double left, of the triple left. So just going back at it again, just gonna go a bit slower to show you that. So as you can see, just when I'm getting close of that line, just close of this point of the line, then just turning to the left, just putting a bit of braking, but not that much, because as you can see, I want to carry a lot of speed. So this one, you need to carry the speed a lot to this triple left actually. As you can see, just trying to manage the car, just trying to keep it stable. So just trying to be smooth on my inputs, just managing between throttle and brakes to find the momentum. So as you can see, just braking a bit on the entry, just trying to make sure that I can keep the car stable, just putting a bit of throttle between the two left, and then just going back on the brakes as soon as I'm getting close of the beginning of this second curbing. So as you can see on the brakes, and then I need to find again the momentum as soon as I'm in the middle of this corner, and then I need to put the car as close as I can from the curbing, which is on the outside this time, to prepare the third left, which is actually the most difficult, because you really need to be patient on the entry of this one, so then you can have a very good exit at the end. So as you can see, just trying to get the curbing on the outside, just trying to not overshot this one. It's very important as well, because then you can ruin all the, I think it should be the first sector or something. I don't know when. No, the first sector ends later, if I remember, I believe. But yeah, still just trying to get on the curb, and from I'm just trying to stay a bit on the brakes to find the rotation, keep slowing down the car. And as you can see, as soon as the car is facing the curbing, I'm just trying to go back from now on power, because if I go early on power, it means that I will probably get the curbing on the entry, but then I will go way wide on the exit, which is not good because it gets a bit tight on the exit of the triple left. And if I cut the right tender, which is the end of the triple left, then I'm gonna get the slowdown or at least the off track. But I think you can get the slowdown if you cut too much, and also because then you're gonna have to put too much steering angle to the left at the exit of the triple left, and it means that you're gonna lose the momentum. So the idea there is to really be patient. As you can see, I stay still on the brakes, still on the brakes, still on the brakes, still on the brakes, and then when I'm facing, just going almost fully on power to find the rotation, getting the curve on the apex in the last left, and now I'm almost like almost straight for this right I told you before, and then you can just cut it not too much because then it can get a slowdown like I said. So I think if you go with half the car on this cabin, it's more than enough. You don't need much anyway. I'm gonna just change a bit the camera to show you better. Yeah, as you can see, just staying with my left wheels on the cabin, just not trying to cut it too much because for me it doesn't make you gain any time. Then need to move quickly to the left to enter the first hairpin of the track actually. So as you can see, moving to the left, and I'm gonna brake at this point on the white line. For me, that's my reference. That's the most obvious reference for me because then it's tough to really have any other reference because then it's too far away from the track for example, the grass or the tire wall on the left. So for me, this line is the most obvious braking reference for me. So as you can see, just when I'm on the line, like this point on the line, just going on the brakes, just trying to slow down in of the car, avoid the ABS, try to find the rotation, and then I turn in. I'm almost following the tire marks, the racing line on the track. For me, it defines pretty well the racing line. As you can see on the brakes, just keeping the brakes until I'm reaching the very bottom of the corner. As you can see, a lot of elevations through the track, but which makes it very interesting, obviously. And then as you can see, when I'm reaching the lowest point of the corner, I can really go back on power with the compression. It gives me a very good grip, actually. And then just gonna try to open the steering on the exit to make sure I can avoid the wheel spin, opening the steering, just getting the curbing on the exit, and we're done for the first hairpin. Then moving to the right side of the track. And for this one, I don't really know what's my braking reference, but I would say that it's around there because I think it gets a bit dark on this part of the curbing more than after, but I guess it's the tire marks which makes that. But yeah, I'm braking, I think, around there. Yeah, I'm braking at that point. So it's tough to really give you a reference for this one, but I would say that when you have this, I don't know if you can really see it on the screen, on the video, on the lap guide, but yeah, you have that line, that sort of line, which goes almost in the middle of the track, maybe a bit before the middle of the track, but you have that line going across the track almost, and I think I'm braking like just maybe 1 or 2 meters after that. So yeah, if you want a reference, I think you could use that, but for me, I'm just doing a bit by instinct when I'm going on the line. But yeah, you can maybe use that one if you can see what I mean on the video, and the quality is good enough to see that. You can just use that as a reference. So as you can see, maybe 1 or 2 meters after just going on the brake, dropping to second for this one, just going for the apex, just make sure to not overshot this one because it's really easy with the fact that it's a bit of camber to really go wide with the momentum you have. So just make sure to really slow down enough the car. It's this track is mainly about being patient sometimes on the exit and on the entries and stuff. So just make sure you are not overshooting the things. And as you can see, now I have a good exit. I can really open the steering when I'm on the exits, which meant that I didn't overshoot on the entry, which is the right thing to do. Just getting the curbing on the entry. So with second gear, just opening the steering, just a bit of TC on the exit, but it can happen sometimes with the low gears, like if you use first or second, but you won't use really often the first gear, to be honest, anyway. So then just getting the curbing on the exit. So I think you could go a bit wider than what I did, to be honest. I think you could go almost, you can use, I think, the very edge of the curbing as a track limit. Then if you go over the curbing, it's going to be enough track. But yeah, like that, it was fine at a decent lap time at the end. So I guess I didn't lose too much time. And then quickly need to move to the left. Then you can almost cut fully this one. I don't really know what's the track limit for that one, but you can cut a good amount of this one. You don't need to stay with your left wheels on the cubbing. You can really go deep into the corner. So I think you can at least stay with your right wheels on the red and white curbing. It will be good, but just make sure you don't be too greedy. At least just try to see what's the limit in practice. But for me, it's fine like this, and also because I don't think you can gain a massive amount of time if you cut this, because it's flat anyway. It's not like if you had to lift or anything. So yeah, you can just cut a decent amount, but I guess not too much, because then you can get the off track or the slowdown. Maybe just the slowdown, the off track, but I'm not sure. And now we go downhill. Just need to move on the left side of the track. Just make sure you not go too wide on the left on the entry, because then you will get the off track if you go on the right side of the white line. I don't really know what's the limit, but I guess if you put the right wheels on the line, it should be an off track. I don't know if it can be a slowdown or not, but I think it should be at least an off track if you go with your right wheels on the line or over the line. And then for this kink, so as you can see, just going on the left side of the track, and then when I'm pretty much reaching the lower part of the downhill, just a bit before the line goes wide again. As you can see, I'm pretty much following the line, like I said in the first step, in just following this line. But actually, I'm turning in a bit before, because I'm taking a bit more curbs than what the racing line on the track seems to be. So as you can see, just tapping a bit the brakes on the entry, not too much, because you need to carry the momentum, and you don't really need to brake that much actually for this one, just to make sure you can settle the car in, and then you don't need to really touch the brakes anymore. As you can see, just playing a bit. I'm not even sure when I pushed the brakes there, it worked actually. So you just need to brake a bit on the entry, but it's not that much. I think it's just about, I don't know how much percent is that, but it should be really low. I think under 5%. And as you can see, just turning in, just going for the curbing. And then for the curbing, you need to keep an amount of throttle, because it will really settle the car through this part. Because then if you change input, sorry, it will really change the behavior of the car and the stability of the car. Because if you change for example, if you maybe release the throttle, the front should rise, I believe, and if you brake, then the front will just go down. So yeah, you just have to make sure that you keep the same amount of throttle, or at least keep a bit of throttle, to make sure that the car remains really stable. It doesn't do any movement. The chassis doesn't make any movement. So as you can see, it was quite stable. As you can see on the replay, it wasn't bouncing too much, which is good, because that's what you need for this one, and also because it gets really, the tarmac has a lot of bump at this point, especially with the curbing and also after. So yeah, you have to make sure that you can have a really stable car, especially because when you're gonna end up wide for the entry of the next one, then if the car is not stable and you enter a part of the track which is very bouncy, then it's gonna be very terrible for the lap time and all the stuff. So yeah, as you can see, just keeping a bit of throttle to make the car stable, and then as you can see, you can use a lot of amount of track on the outside. This is not enough track actually, so you can really go really wide on the outside. And then as you can see, I was almost close of the gravel, but like that, it was fine. I didn't even feel that I was in the gravel, so I guess I didn't really went into the gravel, but yeah, still. So I will show you that from the cockpit camera now. So we went through the kink, throttle in to keep the car stable, and now as soon as you are getting off the track, at least if you lose the runoff, I don't know if you're off the track, because actually I didn't get the off track, so yeah, we'll call that the runoff. So as you can see, as soon as you're getting on the runoff and go across the curbing. You just go on the brakes. Just try to make sure that you are not going too much into the ABS, so then you can really optimize the rotation. And then I'm just trying to turn in just before the end of the curbing. Actually, I'm turning in a bit before that, but as soon as I'm getting close of going back across the curbing, just turning in, just trying to find the rotation, and then I need to go back early on power because I need to find the rotation on the throttle this time, and also because, as you can see, it's really steep, the uphill, so I really need to find the momentum. Not getting the curbing on the inside because there is a chance that I'm gonna lose the car. So as you can see, just staying close of the white line, but I'm not going too deep on the inside. That's not necessary. And as you can see, as soon as I'm on the apex, just going on power, just trying to find the momentum, just trying to make sure that I'm not losing the car. Just as you can see, opening a bit the steering. So if I do it back on the car, as you can see, just reaching the apex, just going back on power, opening the steering. That's really important to really avoid the wheel spin. Then just trying to go a bit wide on the exit, just almost kissing the curbing on the left. And now I quickly need to go back to the right because I need to prepare the trickiest corner righting of the track because it's fully blind. So basically just going on the right side after the corner just before, just trying to not really go over the white line, just trying to put half of the car, or at least trying to have the white line in the middle of the dashboard. That's the thing for me. Just trying to not go too wide basically on the entry. And for this one, I'm just basically gonna wait a bit. And when I'm reaching this part of the line or of the track, I think it seems to be flattened at this point. Like it's almost looks like it's getting flattened. I don't know if it's because of the weird perception of the line for me, but it seems like it's getting a bit flat. So at that point, I'm just gonna turn into the left. So yeah, I don't know if there is any other reference I can use, but yeah, maybe you have well, if you have a triple screen, sorry if you have a single, but yeah, if you have this guide rail on the left, it seems to kind of match the point where I'm turning in. So if I look closer to that, yeah, it seems to kind of match. So yeah, it's not really natural because it's really on the very right side of the car. It's almost disappearing on the right side of the car, but it could be a reference for you if you don't really see what I mean on the white line. But you can use the white rail on the right side. So yeah, it can be for you a reference to turn into the left. But yeah, it's in the completely other side of the of where you're supposed to go. So it's a bit weird to look at the right side, but it can be a reference as a turn in. But yeah, I think what I'm using is basically this point where it gets a bit flat just after just turning in just before that, as you can see, just turning to the left. And then when I'm getting close of the curbing, just going on the brake, just trying to slow down a bit the car, find the rotation, but not that much actually, just trying to carry the momentum. And then just after this curbing, just going back on power to reach the curbing on the outside, but then just need to put the car a bit straight to make sure that I'm not basically I can optimize the braking because as you know, when you turn in a new brake, sometimes it doesn't work very well. But yeah, just trying to put the car a bit more straight, going on the brake, just trying to have a late apex for this one. As you can see, just staying on the brakes, just trying to be very patient on the exit of this one. It's very important to be patient to really optimize the exit and be as straight as you can on the exit to really go down on power with the most efficient way. And as you can see, just trying to find the rotation on the exit on power, and now I can really be straight for the downhill. That's where you can lose a bit the car if you still have some steering inputs to the left because it goes downhill. So at this point, you can really get some wheel spin and stuff because the weight will go at the front, so you might lose a bit of grip at the back. At this point, it's still a bit flat, but from now it goes downhill. So if you still have the steering input at this point, you can have some wheel spin. That's what I mean. Then for this right corner, you can really cut it a bit. The idea there for this one as well is to shift to third on the exit of this one, because sometimes you can have some wheel spin or being a bit sideways if you keep second. So the idea for this one is to really put third just when you are on this curbing. So as you can see, putting third gear when I was on the curbing, just showing you again, third gear on the on the corner and the curb. And as you can see, I'm not cutting that much, but still cutting a decent amount. So basically with my left wheels, first half of the right and wide curbing with my left wheels, and running a decent amount of runoff with my right wheels. But you won't gain a lot of time by doing that. So if you want to make it safe and don't really play with the track limits, you can just stay away from that. But yes, still just give it a try in the practice to see what's the track limits, and yeah, you should be able to maybe get a tiny bit of time sometimes. But yeah, now as you can see, just staying to the left side of the track, still using a decent amount of the on the left side, but I don't think it matters that much if you don't cut much of the track on the left side. And then we approach another interesting corner, so just basically braking a bit early for this one. So I think I'm braking around there. Just no need to brake too late for this one, because the idea there is to get the best exit possible, because as you can see, it's very steep on the exit. So if you don't have the momentum, if you carry a lot of speed on the entry and then you have to slow down the car a lot, and then you have a bad exit, it's good because you gain a lot of time on the entry, but then you will be completely slow for the rest of the long straight, because it's decent. It's fairly long straight after. So yeah, the idea there is to maybe go slower on the entry, but have a very good exit. That's what um, is gonna be the most important point to do for this one, because if you have a lot of speed on the entry, it's cool because you're gonna gain a lot of time on the entry, but then you're gonna be massively slow after that. So the idea there is to brake maybe earlier. So as you can see, it almost looks like I'm braking very early, but actually it's not very early. It's not very early because actually it gives me a decent exit. So as you can see, maybe as a reference you can use the four red I don't know how we can call that, but this looks like traffic lights on the left side. So you can maybe look at this and brake as soon as you're getting past this thing, or at least when you're getting close of that. And then you can go on the brakes. For me, I'm braking just before it gets downhill, actually, a bit more downhill. Or maybe you can look at the racing line tire marks on the track, which gets darker at that point. For me, it looks like it is getting darker at that point. And as you can see, I'm almost matching my braking with that. So for the braking for this one, the idea there is to keep it as straight as possible, because when you are braking at that point, it goes downhill, and the weight of the car goes at the front. So it means that the rear will get really light. So if your car is not straight when you are braking, the car will move a lot, will moves a lot on the brakes, and it's gonna be really terrible to set up the corner. So idea there is to try to make sure you can keep it as straight as possible. As you can see, I'm steering to the left because the car is getting loose and goes to the right. So that's what I told you. Just make sure you can have the car as straight as possible, and maybe I could have done better actually and put it a bit more to the left, so make sure I can really brake straight. But still, it was decent lap, so I guess it worked. But if you feel that it's too loose, you can maybe go a bit more to the left, where I am now, go a bit more to the left, and then have a bit more straight braking. So going on the brakes, just trying to not brake too much, don't want to hit the ABS. And as you can see, just gonna run a bit the curbing with my left wheels. So you have to, I think, keep left wheels on this curbing, because if you go on the green painted thing, it's gonna be enough track. So just make sure you can stay with your left wheels on the curbing, and then the idea there is to really set up the exit. So I stay on the brakes, just trying to find the rotation. Just make sure that I will not go too wide on the exit, because it's really easy to get the off track on the exit by going too wide. And I will really use the deepest and the lowest point of the corner to really find the rotation, because it's on this compression that I will get the most out of the traction, because I'm gonna have a lot of grip at this point with the compression. So as you can see, just going full on power, and then I need to release a bit, because as you can see, it's not really I don't have as much grip as before, obviously, because I'm not in a compression anymore. So from that point, I need to just play a bit with the throttle, make sure I'm not having any wheel spin or sort of wheel spin. So just going back at it again, using the compression fully on power, then I'm releasing a bit because I'm off the compression, and then I'm just making sure that I'm not I don't overrun the exit and basically the curbing. So as you can see, just staying on the curbings really close of the off track, but actually I managed to keep all the wheels on the curbing. And from now, it's just a run to the line on the start finish line, and we're good for the lap on Ledenon. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you learned a bit from this lap guide and you enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and join the Discord server if you have any questions about the work you are making. And I see you for week 12. Bye bye.